Do you want to know how to make your character jump in Unity? You've come to the right place. I'm gonna show you how I did this movement in this video. But first, let me take my character, my Bob character, and change it instead of my square character because square is ugly. So I'm gonna go to art and copy it there like this. And on my square character I'm gonna change the sprite for my Bob. For letting him jump, we first need to have some kind of gravity scale on him, so I'm gonna put gravity scale back because in previous episode I got rid of it. So I don't know, let's try maybe 2 and see how that works. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. He should start falling. It's a pretty small amount per second, but let's try something else. How about 8 or 9? Okay, so I realized that my limiting code was wrong, that it was a stupid idea to limit the drag, because when I applied the force, the gravity, my character was falling super slow because the drag was super high. So I instead borrowed this piece of code from a lovely gentleman called Ditzel Games. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And for now, I have no idea how it works. I don't have enough brain power to figure it out now. Okay, I need to put the headphones down because I cannot hear myself. You just call the method with our vector that stayed the same times the speed, maximum speed, and the third parameter is move speed, and of course first parameter is our rigid body that we want to start moving with. And it basically behaves as you would expect. If I zoom out a little bit, press play, we start moving to the sides and start falling in a pretty much decent speed. Now we can finally start working our way to the jumping. Let us create some kind of platform. I'm gonna use our square from before. I'm gonna stretch it a little bit. And I will add box collider 2D, which is gonna make a border around our platform. If I'm gonna press this, you will see the green border. I cannot see it pretty well, but there's a dot that you can pretty much slide it as you want. I'm gonna move it back. Okay, Control Z. And I'm also gonna add some collider to our character, and I think box collider would be too much for our character, so I'm gonna use capsule collider 2D, and I'm gonna modify it a little bit. Now we have collider matching body of our character, and if I press play, it should stop on the platform, and if I press to the sides, it's moving correctly. Also, don't forget to freeze the rotation at Z, because if you don't do that, you're gonna be messing him around. We don't want that. Now we need to create another script called character jump maybe. And in the same manner as the movement is, we're gonna be controlling the input from our character input controller, and the jump itself is gonna be executed from the character jump script. So I created private character jump. Char jump, same as the character movement. Also instantiated it in our start method. I just realized that it's probably better to put these two and any other instantiation into a wake method, so I'm gonna do that. Like that. In our character jump, we're gonna get our rigid body. Also, we need to instantiate the rigid body. And now we can create our jump method. We are gonna create vector2 jump force equals new vector2. First value will be 0, second value will be our given value from the character input controller, which is gonna be something like horizontal, I think. Horizontal. So we are gonna be expecting some kind of float. Horizontal. Like that. We are gonna be adding this vector to our rigid body, so rb.addForce, and we're gonna put our jump force there. In our character controller, we're gonna call our jump method in our update. So in our controller we have instantiated our car jump script, so we can just call it by car jump.jump, and we're gonna pass some value. Let's try just, I don't know, 2f, put our jumping script to our character. I'm gonna rename the character from square character to Bob. Bob. I'm gonna create same as horizontal, private, float, vertical. And I'm gonna say vertical equals input dot get axis. And now it's gonna be jump, I think. And instead of 2f in our jump method, let's put our vertical value there. I just realized that I totally spaced out. I accidentally called it horizontal also. It needs to be vertical because we are jumping. So vertical. Also, the jump force should be probably something else. This should be jump vector, and instead of jump force you're gonna say jump vector and times something else, and the something else is gonna be the jump force. Like that. So let's add jump force to our values. And put some value into our variable. I don't know, let's try 10. Also we need to put the jump force into our method call, and we can try it out. Okay, so we need a higher number. Let's say 60 should be a lot right now. Okay, and if we press space, our character is currently flying because I can press space even when I'm in the air, so that's not what we want. So we need to calculate if we're on the ground or if he's in the air. And we're gonna do that by doing some basic math. So I know my drawing is pretty bad, but let's imagine that is a circle and not a nipple. My perfect example. It looks like something naughty. This is unacceptable. I'm gonna use my tablet. This is horrible. What is this? What is this creature? Oh no 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 no. Let's start again with the tablet. So let's say we have it's even worse. Jesus. Jesus. Okay, so we have our capsule and it is made from 2 circles. Okay, this is best I can do. So we have 2 circles and both of the center points have radius to the sides. So this is R1. This is gonna be also R1. And we can manage to put our circle, which is gonna be calculating if we're standing or not, to the most bottom left corner, which is gonna be this corner. And we need to put it to our bottom circle, which is gonna be here, and offset it a little bit downwards, so it's touching the ground first instead of the collider here. Because if I made it same size as the collider, it's not gonna touch ground and it's not gonna detect if we are standing or not. So we are gonna make circle. I'm gonna make it green, which will be pretty much at the same place as this circle, but it's gonna be a little bit more downwards, so it's gonna be touching ground first. And to get to this point is easy because this is the preset point. We can get it by dot notation. And to get to this point, to the center point of the bottom circle, we're gonna offset it by R1 and R1 again. I know that it's pretty messy, but I hopefully explained it well so you can pretty much visualize what we are gonna do now. So first we need to make our circle right here at the bottom left corner. So we are gonna make a gizmo, which is pretty much a helper that is showing us some shapes and lines. Void on draw gizmos. We're gonna set the color to the color of, let's say, blue. And now we're gonna draw a wire sphere. And we need our collider positions, so let's do that first. I'm gonna name it cap call. We're gonna instantiate it in our awake method. Now we can access our collider in our drawing. So the first parameter is pretty much a vector or position where the circle should be. First we're gonna put it to most bottom, so it's gonna be cap call dot bounds dot min. So this is pretty much the most left bottom corner. And now we need to offset it. So we need to add a vector, which is gonna be made of two values. And if you remember, it's our R1. And R1 is pretty much x coordinate divided by 2. So it's gonna be cap call dot bounds dot size dot x divided by 2. So that's the first value, and the second value is gonna be the same. So now we have the center of our circle. We need radius, which is gonna be same as the R1. Also it needs to be new vector 3. And if I'm gonna save that, it should bring us some errors because it's not instantiated, or the Gizmos doesn't know. Yep. So we need to limit it. If cap call is not null, we are gonna draw our sphere, because the Gizmo is pretty much creating sphere every frame, and there are some frames where cap call is not instantiated yet. So now we should be having our sphere. If I press play, yep, there I saw it. There was blue circle. Yep, there it is. And now it's pretty much the same as the capsule. We need to offset it to the bottom. We are at the bottom, at the most left side at the bottom. We are adding x coordinate and y coordinate. So instead of adding the full y coordinate to go up, we are gonna add something a little bit less, minus 0.04, I don't know, 4. Now our circle is a little bit offset compared to the bottom. It's what we wanted. So now we know how our square should look like, and we can make our method that is gonna be called isGrounded. Private void isGrounded. And we are gonna make a raycast. Raycast it 2D. I'm gonna name it raycast. And it's gonna be pretty much equal as to our Gizmos. It's gonna be physics 2D dot circlecast, and we're gonna pass pretty much the same as in our Gizmos, like that. So we also need some argument with direction. That is gonna be vector2 dot down, because we want to face it down. We also need to return something, so we're gonna return boolean. Need to return raycast collider otherwise it's gonna return null. So it's gonna return true or null if it's not touching anything. But now it's gonna still be touching our capsule because we want to detect only colliders that are not the capsule. So we need to add something to our project. We need to tell that our ground is some kind of layer. So I'm gonna go up here to layers and add a layer. Let's say 12 platform. And now I can add to our platform a layer called platform. Now we need to create a variable called layer mask. I'm gonna make it private. I'm gonna name it ground mask. And we need to make it a platform. So the ground mask is equal to layer mask dot get mask, and we want our layer named platform. And now we can specify in our isGrounded method that we want to check only layers that are layer mask. So let's put our ground there. Also we need to limit our distance. So I'm gonna put 0f there. It should be enough with just a circle. And we can put as a last parameter our ground mask. Like that. Let's try to print in our debug what we are hitting with our recast. Of course we need to put it before we return. Also we need to call it somewhere. If is grounded. We're not gonna do anything for now. Okay, so we were hitting and we were hitting nothing, and now we are hitting the platform. And if I jump, we should be having null again. Yep, we have null again. So now if I say that I can jump only if I'm grounded, I'm gonna move our jumping code to is grounded, and I'm gonna save it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I can only jump when I'm grounded, but the force we are adding is so small that it doesn't have enough velocity to put us to the air. Let's try changing our code to the force mode impulse, like that. Let's see what happens. I think it might be a lot, I'm not sure. Yep, I jumped to the moon. So let's make it a little bit lower value. I don't know, let's say 25. It's still a lot. Okay, let's make it some small number, like 5. Not gonna lie, I was struggling a little bit. Didn't know what was causing the weird behavior, but I just realized that I was doing my physics manipulation in our update, so I fixed it by putting fixed update instead of update, which should be pretty much helping the engine figure out exactly the same on different machines with different computation power. So, and now if we try it out, we should have pretty much normal behaving character which can jump, and if I spam the jump, it doesn't behave weirdly. Maybe just if you move to the side, I'm just pressing the space button, which should be jumping, and I'm moving a little bit. I might look into that in the future, but I'm pretty happy with the result. I'm super glad that you made it this far, and if you wanna let me know that you enjoyed the video, you can press the like down below. And of course, if you want to see more videos from me, you can press the subscribe so you don't miss those in the future. And that's all from me, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!